More than likely, there's someone you know right now who has tested positive for COVID-19 as Florida counts thousands of new cases every day. An orange bar here on the chart shows how many cases the state has reported to the CDC each day over the past 3 months. That green line shows the trend. For about the past month, the state has averaged 10 to 11,000 new cases a day, and that does not count people who only test positive with an at-home test. Those are not recorded in official statistics. Health experts say most cases are mild, but deaths are still happening. News4JAX reporter Jim Piggott spoke with someone fighting COVID right now and finds out what area hospitals are facing from the virus.
Today, we went to all of the government-run COVID testing and vaccination sites in Jacksonville. There are only 3 left, and at 2 of them, well, we didn't find any patients. It was at the state-run site on Perry Street, not far from the Gateway Town Center, where we caught up with Myrtis Lang. She recently came down with COVID and is here to get another booster, so she doesn't have to go through this again. Are you surprised that you were positive?
Yes, I was.
Why so?
Because I've had both of the shots and the booster, and being around my son, even though I was masked, right. I got it from him.
She's far from alone. Popular radio host Melissa Ross of WJCT's First Coast Connect let her listeners know she too has COVID. How are you doing?
You know, I'm doing great. We've all had lots of colds in our lives, and that's honestly what this has been like. I know so many people who've come down with it. And these are people that have managed to avoid it, like myself, for over 2 years, who've been careful, who've taken all the precautions. I think this latest variant is just extremely contagious.
And that's what health officials are telling us today.
So over the last several weeks, Florida has seen an uptick of COVID-19, although I do think we're starting to plateau across the state. Most of these cases are being driven by one of the Omicron variants.
Here's what some local hospitals are reporting. At UF Health and their 2 facilities, 35 cases of COVID, 3 people in the ICU. At Baptist Health's 5 facilities across the area, there are 76 cases, 7 in the ICU. Both hospitals report that these numbers haven't changed much this month. For most patients, it's not been severe, but people are still dying from COVID.
We are seeing an increase in COVID deaths, primary infection COVID deaths. So that means they are dying of actual COVID, not of other causes. We are seeing an increase in those throughout the state of Florida over the last several weeks. So as we see cases start to plateau and the new cases start to decrease, we will still have a small bump potentially in those deaths for several weeks after.
So you know those days when we saw long lines of people being tested and those getting vaccines? Well, those are long gone. In fact, this is the last state testing site left in Jacksonville. And look at this, its last day is in 2 days. It's going to close for good. Though the city sites, there are 2 of them, they're going to remain open if you need to get that test. Jim Piggott, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Jim. And we've put the addresses of the 2 city-run testing sites inside the story on news4jax.com. Again, we're told the city-run sites will remain open throughout the summer. We are checking on the drive-up site run by Telescope Health in Neptune Beach.